Do you continually date people who make you feel like who trample your self-esteem with their inconsistency, who display red, orange, and yellow flags on a regular basis, and yet you still give them the time of day? Well then, this video is for you. It's the very facts matter. So I want to start a little unconventionally by talking about the pop songs that currently have a gorilla grip on our society, that clearly are resonating with people on a deep spiritual level. Let's start with Taylor Swift's Anti-Hero.
Disclaimer for Swifties and SZA stans. I, the Fairy Thought Mother, will now evaluate themes of self-worth in the music of Taylor Swift and SZA. I do not believe that self-denigrating lyrics preclude the quality of the music at hand. In fact, I respect both of these artists immensely and deeply admire and appreciate their honest and highly vulnerable lyricism. However, I also believe that the themes present in their music are useful for the purposes of this video. Stans, don't come for me!
Basically, in this song, she positions herself as the bad guy who doesn't have accountability for shit. Lyrics include, I'll stare directly at the sun, but never in a mirror. And one day I'll watch as you're leaving because you got tired of my scheming. Then you have pretty much the entire SZA album, which really is an amazing album, which features lyrics like, I only like myself when I'm with you. I hate me enough for the two of us. Then throwing back to Control, one of my favorite albums, You'll never love me, but I believe you when you say it like that. That's a devastating one. Now, I look at these lyrical themes of self-hatred and self-sabotage. I look at the memes that float around like, haha, red flag, so funny. And I just look at the general discourse among my personal friend groups. And all of this data leads me to one upsetting, not so shocking conclusion. We are in a crisis of self-love. Let's talk about it. Now, I'm sure many of y'all are familiar with this quote. We accept the love we think we deserve. What this is basically saying is that when you continually choose people who treat you like shit, you're doing that because on some deep subconscious level, you think that's the treatment you deserve. Now, I think the part of this that doesn't get said out loud enough is that when you continuously accept and invite people who are inconsistent, emotionally manipulative, who damage your self-esteem, you're actually committing a violent act of self-hatred. Now, of course, I'm not talking about people who are trapped in these abusive relationships that they cannot escape, and unfortunately that is the reality for so many people, especially women. Rather, I'm talking about these toxic romantic situations that you could walk away from at any time, and yet you choose not to. For example, one situation that I think is super common and that I've definitely been in is when you're kind of talking to someone for months and you know that you're interested in them, you know that you want to date them, but they're not committing, giving mixed signals, giving messy. And despite these signals that you're getting from them, you continue to engage, just hoping that something will change, but deep down, knowing that all you're doing is hurting yourself. I'm talking about experiencing clear signs of disrespect, like they're ignoring you for days at a time, they're canceling dates at the last minute, and you laugh it off with your friends like, ha ha ha, red flag, and then you just move forward anyway. Now, we can meme about it, we can laugh about it, but honestly, it's an act of self-sabotage and I don't think that's funny. Now, you might be thinking, Fairy Thought Mother, stop coming for my life. Do you even know what it's like out there? And I'm here to tell you that yes, I do. And to prove it, I will even share the most embarrassing story time that has ever been had. So way back in college, long before I became the Fairy Thought Mother, I was making out with this guy who I really liked. And mid-makeout, I'm talking our tongues were intertwined, he pulls back and he says something to the effect of, you know, I've never actually been that attracted to you. And then he just kept kissing me. And then I kept talking to him after that. So this was a part of a pattern I had at the time where I would chase these guys who were clearly not interested in me, and they would give me nothing at best and extreme disrespect at worst. And this self-sabotaging is a pattern that a lot of us have. This is the reason that you might get the ick whenever someone is, God forbid, nice to you and consistent. Now, if you want to change your romantic experiences for the better, if you want your dating life to stop feeling like you're just continuously getting knocked down and willing yourself to get back up again, you have no choice but to unlearn this self-sabotaging behavior. I wish I had a magic wand that could do this in the course of a 10-minute YouTube video, but in reality, this shit takes time and work. So the best I can do is share with you what's helped me unlearn my self-sabotage. A lot of these revelations are ideas that I learned from this book. so highly recommend. But for the sake of brevity, here is the top line of how I stopped dating toxic people. So the first and most difficult step is accepting the role that you play in inviting toxic people into your life. It is really easy to play the victim and say, it's not my fault, I just happen to only meet assholes, or I just have the worst luck in love, or yada yada, the list goes on. These are the kind of things that I used to say all the time, so trust me, I get it. But what you need to do is take a step back and honestly, non-judgmentally ask yourself, okay, but how many times have I brushed off a red flag that happened early on? How many times have I failed to set boundaries and let people walk all over me without consequence? How many times have I knowingly settled for shitty behavior because deep down, I didn't believe anything better was out there for me? So honestly, take the time to sit with these questions, journal on them, and remember that it's not about blaming or shaming yourself. It's about seeing your role in the pattern and then saying, okay, if I'm actually the source of this, that means that I have the power to fix it, which is a beautiful fucking thing. And that leads me to step number 2, learning to love and respect yourself. This means deeply internalizing the crazy idea that you actually deserve to be treated with kindness and respect. And that the only person who can truly continuously protect you from mistreatment is you. So one tool for this, and we'll get a little more into this in a second, is affirmations. So putting post-it notes in your house that say, I am worthy, I love myself, things like that. Another thing that Catherine suggests, the author of this book, is visualizing yourself as a child and asking yourself, does this sweet innocent baby deserve pain? Does this innocent child deserve mistreatment? Obviously not. And that child is you, and that child lives within you, so do what you have to keep them safe. I'll tell you right now that making these kind of mental shifts completely changed my dating life. Nowadays, I exclusively engage with people who show up consistently, who are always respectful to me, and who make it clear that they're genuinely interested in me from the beginning. And the more I grew my self-esteem internally, the more these kind of people started to show up in my life. I guess I manifested it or whatever. No, but like seriously. I mean, I have not been in a toxic entanglement in about 2 years because once I started paying attention, those people usually show themselves pretty early on. And the minute I catch even a whiff of those red flags, oh God, I am out. Why? Because I have my own back. I'm protecting myself from toxic situations, which brings me to the summary of everything I have said so far, which is this. You have got to be your own guardian. Now, does this mean shutting everyone out who makes you feel vulnerable so that you can never ever get hurt again? No, absolutely not. What it does mean is being more selective and discerning about who you do open your heart up to. It means setting up firm boundaries when someone is treating you in a way that is unacceptable. I want you to repeat after me. Seriously, I want you to repeat after me. I'm gonna leave a gap in everything. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of respect. I am worthy of safety. And I accept nothing less. From this point forward, I want you to make a conscious effort to hold yourself in love and safety. I want you to start noticing when you're not doing that and you're playing yourself by inviting toxic people into your life. And I want you to remind yourself each and every day that you are worthy of respect and kindness and love. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for watching. If you're someone who dates men and you've ever uttered the phrase, all men are trash, check out this video. See you next time.